Hello, and a great and wonderful afternoon, eh? Oh, it is beautiful outside. You can be out here again in your t-shirt and your shorts and enjoy yourself this afternoon. I don't know how cold it's going to get tonight, but last night it hit about the 40s or so. And today, absolutely gorgeous out here. Beautiful sunny day in the fall. Yes, it is. Thought I'd get out and take a little walk and get some exercise. And I said, well, my walks and exercises are a little bit short, but if I take my phone and shoot the breeze out here, by cracky, it seems like I'll do it longer. I could do it up to 30 minutes, I've noticed. Maybe longer, eh? Hey, look, it's the Bed of Liberty, huh? There we go, huh? Yeah. All right. Guess what? I got to remember when they start deer gun season and stuff around here, that if I go outside and I do this, people that's out here hunting, they get a might bit unhappy. I don't know why, but they do. I can honestly tell you that when I was young, I couldn't stand to sit around. I was one of them guys that always had to be moving. It was like sitting around was not for me. I'm going to deer hunt, I'm going to have to move around. I can't stand sitting, and you would not believe how many people got deer because I was out in the woods and couldn't keep my ass sitting still, and I run them into them, and they were just sitting and waiting. That happened over and over again. So anyway, yep, somebody running around the woods can be a good thing sometimes, huh? Or some noise. Deer might change its mind, go a different direction. But I'll tell you, them things been getting creamed on the road around here. I mean, I don't know if there's one every mile or so between here and town, but in like a 20-mile stretch, they're just getting creamed on the roads. It's just crazy. And they won't stay out of the road either. They're all over it, especially at night. Oh. So, and it's sad. It's really sad that has to happen, because what a waste of material and resources and steaks and all that stuff for those who like to eat venison. What a waste. But what can you do? You know, that is what it is. So, okay, well, what can we say, you know? What can we say? I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything different or unusual, that's for sure. Thought about throwing on some reenactor clothes and coming out here and playing around. Then I thought, no, it's too nice out there. That wool gets you hot in a hurry. It's just the way it is. I didn't want to get overheated, you know. Although breaking a good sweat is probably healthy for you. Clean out your pores and get what they say is the largest organ you have is your skin, right? So you could clean all that out. Everybody took off. They said, "You want to come with us? Do you want to come with us?" I said, "No." And they took off and they went to get some Chinese. There's a Chinese place that puts out some mighty tasty food. It's signature food too, and it's not a major brand restaurant. It's like every time you go there, it's always delicious and the same. You can count on it being exactly what you ordered every time. It's not like you go one time and it's really good. Next time you go, it's like, oh man, this stuff's horrible. It's always good. Always good Chinese. And that's because I think the owner's in there and does most of the cooking and everything and oversees stuff to make sure that you're getting that good, delicious dish every time. And you'll get a full belly on about $10. That's for sure. So we enjoy that every once in a while. It's good stuff. I don't know where them old pups went to, but they certainly ain't running around here. I was going to bring a flintlock with me and come out and maybe crack it off a few times, and then I realized I got the dogs with me, and unfortunately my dogs, that'll scare them and they'll I'll be hunting for them for the rest of the night because they'll take off somewhere. I don't know why they're like that, but they are. I think because the ladies get all worked up.
I can't believe you're gonna be banging around and making all that noise. What the heck's the matter with you? You're gonna scare the dogs.
Well, I think maybe. Maybe the dogs were just imitating you, and you're the one who's scared, huh? Hey, I ordered some other, oh, you know, I guess you call them props for my clowning around here on this channel that I've got to playing with more. And son of a gun if they didn't get lost. And they're like, they'll be delivered late if they're delivered at all. And now I gotta wait for 10 days before I can get off at Temu, and it's T-E-M-U or whatever, before I can be able to get a refund if it don't come within 10 days. So it'll be about November 15th that I'll have to do a refund on it. I was debating buying that stuff anyway, and then I finally decided to do it. And now I'm like, Ed, it figures. Something you got some plans to use for some clowning around and you can't get it. That's how it goes. And something else that goes too, it never fails that you got somebody with some loud motor running around every time you go out and try to do a little video recording or something, you know. And I guess it's nice that it happened while I wasn't trying to sleep, because sometimes I'll be trying to get me a nap or some extra rest because I get tired and it's like, I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit, and then I'm hoping that I'll wake up feeling better. That's what I'm hoping for. Because sometimes, I don't know, I just get tired. And then I'm gonna attribute it to poor diet, eating foods, and they just crash you, take you down. Well, I guess my better half heard me playing around, and well, heard me. She probably watched my videos. And then, you know what happened? Believe it or not, we got French coffee now. French dark roast coffee. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. And that's what I've been sipping on. And it tastes like, well, dirt. That's what I think it tastes like. How you know it tastes like dirt? Have you
eaten dirt before?
Well, I've done a few things to where I've got a mouthful of it before. Like one time there was a groundhog down in his hole. I had a nice, beautiful garden, absolutely beautiful. This garden was so beautiful. All the vegetables was amazing. It was like a picture of, you know, the Big Mac in the hamburgers and stuff on the Burger King and McDonald's commercials and stuff. They don't look nothing like when you get them, right? They don't look like that picture. Well, I had a picture perfect garden. So everything was beautiful, and I was going to start harvesting me a little bit of lettuce so I could have me some salad one day. And I said, man, that lettuce is so beautiful. I'm going to harvest me some of that. I'll get it tomorrow. Come down and get me a little lettuce. That was in the evening. So I finally make it down there, and I get down there, and that row of lettuce was probably, at least 20 feet long. And you know, there was not one leaf of lettuce that a groundhog hadn't wiped his ass on. He destroyed that. He destroyed all kinds of stuff in that garden. I didn't have any trouble with anything getting into it. And then all of a sudden, whammo, that daggone groundhog wipes that garden out, basically. So I happen to have handy, this has been years and years ago, mind you. I happen to have handy to easily, quickly grab with one shell, and I don't think that, I was thinking that maybe he'd be down the field or something, or I'd go down the field and wait and sit around. But I grabbed the Mosin Nagant. If you know what one of those are, it's a World War II Russian rifle. And I had some armor piercing cartridges that was surplus. I'd got those when I bought that thing. And I only paid like, I don't know if I give $100 for it. That's been that long ago. Something like that. But anyway, I walked down below the garden, and then I'd been looking out through the field. I didn't see nothing. I walked down below the garden. I see a groundhog hole. So I walk over to it, and, and I'm standing over top of this groundhog hole, right? And I look down in there, and here I see that little son of a gun's head right down in the hole. He's looking up at me. And I thought, you son of a gun. And I was pretty upset about my garden being wiped out, which is payment to me for all the times I let my chickens get in other people's gardens and stuff and tear it up. I did do that. When I had chickens, I had neighbors with gardens, and my chickens would always go over there and tear up their stuff. And, you know, so it was just payback is all it was. It's that karma that comes back and bites you in the old booty, right? So anyway, I just took that Mosin again. I just poked it down in that hole, and I pulled that trigger, and I'm standing like basically over top of it. I guess it's the compression off of that shell or whatever going down in that hole. I mean, it filled that hole in and collapsed it, and it blew dirt in my face and my mouth and everything else. So I was tasting a lot of dirt, but man, I was covered in dirt, and wow, did I do my hearing any favors. I'm telling you that right now, because I didn't even put earplugs in or nothing. So that was a bad deal. Anyway, I got him, I assume. I don't know. Couldn't really tell. But he definitely shouldn't have been able to get out of that hole. He'd had to have a back door somewhere, right? I don't like to do stuff in like that, but by golly, sometimes you just can't have all your stuff damaged and stuff getting into everything. I think there's some, I don't know, I've had a lot of crazy animals running around. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, squirrels climbing up underneath your car and ripping out the wiring and stuff. I'm trying to figure out, why are these animals attracted to your vehicles? And the answer is, apparently, some Wile E. Coyote super dumbass genius in the automobile industry, if you know who you are, decided that soybean oil made a good additive to the plastics on your vehicle. So what happens? Animals chew that stuff and eat it. You go up to the courthouse up here, there's a town up, I guess it's northwest of here, or northeast of here, I guess. You go, they got beautiful park benches. But them park benches now, after being out there for a few years, they're just destroyed. The squirrels have chewed them things up. I mean, they have chewed them up. So that goes to tell you that they're probably made out of soybean oil. So I don't know where people's brains are sometimes. Back in the old days, electrical wires and stuff like that used to be coated with tar. They had a white, like a cloth over them, and a tar coating. And there was no animals that wanted to get into that electrical wire and chew on it. Well, guess what? The new wiring with plastic on it, if they're making your wiring, your new wiring you're buying to wire your home with, and you don't control the mice and stuff like that, they're going to have a tasty snack by eating the plastic off of your electrical wiring. So I'm telling you, rodent control is going to become very, very priority if they're using that stuff for that. I don't know, but I know that they'll chew on your wires and stuff like that. At one point in time, I had a motorcycle, and they built a nest in the engine and chewed on the wiring. But I learned something. I'll give you a tip that helped me out, and I use this stuff all the time. But I took my bike, and when I had it in because I live in a cornfield, I mean, it's a hayfield, cornfield, you know, whatever they decide to plant. I took and replaced all the wiring, and I know the mice are bad. I had a hot tub, and by the time they got done inside it, chewing up the foam insulation and everything, it looked like it was full of popcorn. and they almost got through some hoses and everything else, but ended up blowing up the motor and quitting, so I got rid of it. But they destroyed that thing, they did. And I had traps in there with cheese and all kinds of stuff. You couldn't catch them things. None of them would get in it. It's something else. But anyway, the tip, I sprayed my bike down and made sure all the wiring was nice and wet. You can use silicone or you can use WD-40, either one. Just spray it all over your wiring. Mice and rodents and stuff, they'll shy away from that. I can say I hadn't, knock on wood of course, had any of it chewed up since I started doing that and used it. So it was a good deal to do that. But yes, it is an absolutely gorgeous day out here. I'm looking around, I see a few strange clouds like this one here. That looks like that one there, what the heck? So wide and big across there like that. I mean, they gotta be spraying something. And the guy said, oh, they're spraying stuff in there, they're poisoning the atmosphere. They wouldn't do that. Wow. Then they show you pictures of children running behind the DDT trucks that were spraying for mosquitoes, playing in the spray while they're driving down the road. So, I don't know. I might not put nothing past them. What is that stuff and why is it spread out like that's a hell of a wide trail there? One plane did that. I mean, what kind of fumes, what kind of stuff are they burning out of these things? That's what I'm wondering. I'm hearing about it. It's all that conspiracy stuff, you know, that always comes true later.
It's a conspiracy! You're crazy!
Yeah, right. Once you see stuff like that, you say, well, I don't believe that. And it comes true, and you're like, oh, okay. Then I don't believe that either. And then it comes true. It's like, okay. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think I believe that. And it comes true. And then you're like, well, I got my doubts. And then it comes true. And then it's like, well, I don't know. And then that comes true. And then it's, I've seen a lot of evidence and past experience. So, you know, you're really like, whoa. And then eventually you're like, well, I don't believe it right now, but I'm sure I'm going to believe it next year. That's for sure. It's going to happen, right? So that's just how it works for some reason. It just keeps happening over and over again. Look at her. She's
what do you find there, Pee-Pee? Huh? What you got? You got us a squirrel? You got us a squirrel in the tree?
Then why does she do that? I found a baby coon. Well, they found a baby coon, and they were going to chew that little rascal up. So I grabbed him because he was right out here by the mailboxes, and I throwed him in that tree. And then they was barking and treeing on it. I brought him out of Strawberry and from the house to give him something to eat. And man, he bit into that strawberry, but he didn't bite into it friendly like he was being friendly and eating it. He growled and nailed it like it was my finger. You do not want to get bit by one of them, because the size of chunk he took out of that damn strawberry, whoa, you most definitely don't want one of them baby coons to get a hold of your finger viciously. They have got some nasty teeth. Nasty. Very nasty, huh? Nasty teeth. Rip off your finger.
You'll put it back in stub, I say.
Hey, I noticed when I was shooting. I don't know if anybody else noticed it yet. Can't quite tell it right now. But right about in here, I think I was shooting at 1728. Is it a cow's foot on the end of that thing I was reading? I was thinking, you know how a duck swims in water and they got a web foot and it kind of hangs down like this? So I thought it was called a duck's foot, but apparently it's called a cow foot or something like that for the stalk that drops down. And yeah, but anyway, I've seen a burn. I see where I burnt the paint job on that a little bit, but it cleaned off. It wasn't nothing permanent. It looks like the rains washed the the burndy powder off of there. So, yeah. I didn't mean for that to happen, but hey, you know, what can I say? And if you watch that video, that's pretty embarrassing. I don't think I'd have put it up if I'd have watched it, previewed it, let's put it that way. But, and there's a person that comments and writes down the times on when it happened, but the clay balls, I thought, you know, this thing's all fouled up. I got the ramrod stuck and everything else, so them there clay balls ought to stick in that thing pretty good, right? You ain't have to worry about them coming out. So I put them down in there, and I'm watching the video, and I see the old clay ball, even with a little bit of energy, because it had to roll down that long 46.5-inch barrel and bounce, kind of jump out of the end of the gun just before I'd shoot it. So some of them I was sticking 2 balls in just to see what they do. So maybe the second one was able to get to the target. But that was pretty interesting. After I watched it back, I kind of laughed. I was like, Edward, what the heck is going on there? Because I didn't even notice it, you know. So, and you don't when you're doing that stuff. So I think maybe I'll bring out a little newspaper or something to kind of tighten that up a little bit. You get a better and more accurate shot. They are a little bit more fun to shoot with patching because you got a little more accuracy with them. What the heck is she going after? She's coming running by here. She must have sighted a nothing, because that's what she chases around all over the place. There are some rabbits around here, but I don't know if they're still around because the old coyotes, they like to eat all that stuff up. And then they'll go away for a while, and then they'll come back and clean everything out. They do eat mice and rodents too, so there's some stuff that you get an advantage with when you have those things running around. But you want to be careful, because I don't really trust them things any farther than I could see them or throw them, that's for sure. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Next thing you know, they'll get you.
I've seen a couple coyotes take some kind of animal down, and it was big. It was big as a full-size German Shepherd, I would think, or just as big as they were. And there was 3 of them. One of them seen me, and he howled. And when he did that, that got my attention because I didn't see him. And I looked, and there was a fence, and some rather large black animal. I don't know what it was for sure because it wasn't that good at lighting. And one of them was it was trying to run away. And then one coyote come into the front of it, and when it turned to, you know, kind of protect itself, one from behind come in and nailed it. And I'm telling you, nailed him good from the back. And then when he turned to try to get that one off of him, the one that was facing him moved in and wham, nailed him from the front. And they got him and stretched him out like a daggone rug and drug him up over the top of the hill, and they were gone. And that happened really fast. And I was like, wow, those things can be extremely vicious. They're vicious. They know what they're doing. They're killers. You know, just got a natural instinct in them things to kill stuff. I seen a bunch of them one time. It was I don't know what time of year it was. Spring, I imagine. I was driving down the road. I had to be somewhere, so I didn't have time to mess around. There's a whole bunch of little baby husky puppies in the road. And so I stopped, and I was thinking, man, who dumped those? Because I figured somebody must have dumped them. And then they all disappeared. Took off up in the woods. And I thought, I got stuff to do. I ain't got time to mess with that. So that's what I did. Well, needless to say, I think those might have been baby coyotes. That's for sure. They could have been. I'm more than likely were, because I've never seen them again. But we've had some pretty big coyotes running around here and there. I filmed one day, and daylight came out and was standing around. So I think maybe, since we got 2- and 3-year-old young children and stuff running around here in the neighborhood, I don't think them coyotes want to come out in the daytime and be pacing around. And I watched a video where a guy was out in the field, and he seen a coyote So he said, I'm going to see what that'll do. And he laid down like he was injured, and the coyote circled him, and then he'd circle him again, and every time he circled, he'd come in closer. So he was checking him out, see if he was going to be a good meal. That's what he was doing. So I not worry about that with this old dog, because sometimes he gets it in the hip and stuff, and he's having some trouble. And coyotes, more than one of them for sure, would see him. They'd think, oh, there's a good meal, because he looks injured. So, well, he is injured like me. He's got it in the hip, you know, having trouble getting around. Then there's other times when he gets around like a young 2-year-old. And it's like, dude, chill out and relax. You ain't no 2 years old, buddy. You're gonna hurt yourself. And that's what I do too. I'll do something dumb like that. I'll be all rambunctious and feeling good. Took too many vitamins or something, I don't know. Next thing you know, I've sprained or broke something. You know, if I didn't, it sure feels like it. Sure feels like I did. But I'll usually come out here and walk back and forth one time and go in the house. But when I get to yakking, like I'm doing right now, I don't pay that much attention to walking. I pay attention to my arm starting to get achy because of holding this selfie stick out here. I do that. I think I wore the dogs out. They're all up here looking like they want to go in the house.
Let's go in the house. Let's go in the house.
That's what they're saying. Subliminally trying to contact me with their subliminal mind control. Ain't you, Grandpa?
Hey, Grandpa, what you doing there, Grandpa?
He ain't doing much. Oh, goodness. He used to have a long tail, you know, because German Shepherds do. But he got a big old tumor in that. And that thing ended up getting pretty big and busting. So I took him to the vet. And what I know about that stuff, probably the best thing you could do in order to prevent infection and all kinds of stuff like that, because I mean, it really messed it up. And as old as he is, we just made the decision to go ahead and have it removed. So now he's got like a bear butt, like Winnie the Pooh or something, right? A little nubby tail and all that sticking out down there. So that's the way it is, little nubby tail. But I thought that was the best route to take, because otherwise, you know, he being as old as he is, infection and stuff like that, it's not going to help him get around and stay healthy. And after we did that, you know, we had a lot of trouble with him going down. He couldn't hardly get up, and he would not be able to function too good with his hips and stuff like that. And after we had that done, he's been getting along. Sometimes act like a spring chicken, by golly. He acts, jumps around and everything. It's like, dude, don't get too rambunctious. And I think maybe that might have had something to do with it, because of the, you know, just in the tail being all messed up with that tumor. And they say a dog's tail was a part of their spinal cord, so could have been causing inflammation and stuff like that that works its way up into his hip, so he wasn't able to get up a lot. But heck, after we did that, it seemed like he got a lot better. So, you know, we liked his tail, but hey, it's no big deal. We don't really flip out because he don't got one, right? It's like,
Your dog don't have a tail, you know. He's supposed to.
yeah, he's supposed to, but now he's got that little stubby nubby, huh? And you can watch it. You'll see him wag it. He still wags his nub, you know, but he don't have to worry about infection and all that kind of stuff from that tumor, and then don't have to worry about it coming back, because it destroyed, I'd say, it was as big as a baseball, and I'd say when it blew, it destroyed 50% or 60% of the area when it busted open, and it was not a pretty sight. So we took him to the vet, and the vet said, well, you can treat it and blah, 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 blah. And my experience, it's just one of them things that you're better off to remove and not have to worry about it, because at his age and everything, it might not be too good. So, but I spend a lot of time running around here with them dogs. They're in the house now. If I had a flintlock out here with me, I could go out and bang that dude. Certainly could. Wouldn't have to worry about them taking off to the high country. So, well, I think I'm going to sign off and call it a beautiful day. Go in and drink some more of me French coffee. I got a French dark roast now. I suspect the better half's been watching me goofing around, and she decided, oh, he wants to be French, does he? Well, I'll teach him. He'll have French coffee. And I do. All right, everybody. Have a great day, and talk at you later.